The Joseph Series, Story Number 10. Joseph brings his brothers to his house. Taken from Genesis chapter 43, verses 15 through 34. It would be difficult to imagine the fear that probably gripped Joseph's brothers, and particularly Judah, as they approached the border of Egypt. Could they convince the angry ruler of their innocence? Would the ruler believe them? Was their brother Simeon still alive? And how were they going to explain the money they had found hidden in their sacks? Why was all this happening? Obviously, they had not told their father Jacob the real reason they might be under God's judgment. Perhaps everything would be okay. They just needed to get their brother back, explain about the money, get the food they needed, and get home. But things don't always go as planned. So Joseph's brothers got the present ready, took 2 times the money as before, and their brother Benjamin, and went down to Egypt. And they came and stood before Joseph. When Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to the steward of his house, "Bring these men to my house, and slaughter an animal, and get everything ready, because these men are going to eat with me at noon." And the steward did what Joseph told him, and brought the brothers to Joseph's house. When the brothers realized that they had been brought to Joseph's house, they were afraid, and said to one another, "It must be because of the money that was put back in our sacks the first time we came down. That's why he brought us here, so he can assault us, overpower us, make us slaves, and take our donkeys." So the brothers went up to Joseph's steward to talk to him before entering the house. And they said, "O my lord, we came down the first time to buy food, and when we came to the place where we planned to spend the night, each of us opened our sacks, and there, in the mouth of our sacks, was our money, all of it. So we brought the money we paid last time back with us, and we have other money to buy food this time. We don't know who put our money back in our sacks." And the steward replied, "Be at peace. You have nothing to fear. The God you serve, the God your father serves, he put the treasure back in your sacks for you. I received your money." Then the steward brought Simeon out to them. And when the man had welcomed the brothers into Joseph's house, he gave them water to wash their feet, and provided feed for their donkeys. And Joseph's brothers prepared the present for Joseph's arrival at noon, for they overheard that they were going to eat with him at his house. When Joseph came home, the brothers brought the gift they had prepared into the house, and presented it to Joseph, and bowed down to him, with their faces to the ground. And Joseph asked them about their welfare, and said, "Is your father in good health? The old man you told me about when we spoke before, is he still alive?" They said, "Yes, your servant, our father is doing well. He is still alive." And they bowed their heads and put their faces to the ground again. And Joseph looked at each of them until he saw his brother Benjamin, his own mother's son. And Joseph asked them, "Is this your youngest brother, the one you told me about? May God be gracious to you, my son." Then Joseph quickly left the room, because he couldn't contain himself any longer at the sight of his own brother. And Joseph looked for a place to weep, and went into a room where he could be alone, and cried and cried. Then Joseph washed his face and returned, and after getting control of himself, Joseph said, "Serve the meal." The Joseph Series, Story Number 10. Joseph brings his brothers to his house. Taken from Genesis chapter 43, verses 15 through 34.